All right, but first, captured on camera, a small plane crashing in a remote part of the Idaho mountains. What makes this video so startling is that it was shot from inside the cockpit, showing us what the pilot and the passengers saw as they crash landed in the middle of nowhere. Take a look. It is the moment of impact, incredibly captured as it happens. Watch again as this Stinson single-engine plane loses altitude, clips the top of trees, flips upside down, and crashes into a remote Idaho forest. Inside the plane, friends Tal Gropp, Nathan Williams, and Alec Aretz, along with Tal's father, Les. The group was returning from a day trip hiking on June 30th. Les was piloting. It all seemed routine, but trouble starts at takeoff. The plane can't get high enough. Soon it starts to sink, and just moments later, then darkness.
Am I okay?
Everything's okay, please get out.
All four managed to escape the mangled wreckage, clearly dazed by what's happened. 3 are uninjured, but Les, the pilot, has a broken jaw and ribs. The situation seems bleak. Their cell phones don't work. But in what they call a miracle, they're spotted. Soon after, help arrives. The NTSB is now investigating the crash. In a preliminary report, it says that the airplane started losing altitude and experienced a downdraft, which was followed by its wings impacting the tops of the surrounding trees. But these 4 men are just grateful to be alive and to share their story of survival. And joining us now from Boise, Idaho, are the pilot of the plane, Les Gropp, 2 of the passengers, his son, Tal Gropp, and Nathan Williams, and the hero rescuer, Darren Grace. Thank you all for being with us.
Hello.
Welcome.
Morning.
And Les, I want to begin with you because we saw that dramatic video, and we saw there your fairly horrific injuries. Your jaw was broken. I believe you broke some ribs. Tell me how you're doing today.
Recovering very finely. I get the wires out next Monday. The ribs are healing.
Well, we're certainly glad to hear that, and we're
around.
looking at you there, and it's unimaginable what you all went through. So, Nate, I know you were in the front seat with the video camera. When did you first realize something was wrong?
When did I know something was wrong? Well, as we slowly started coming down, we just realized the trees were coming up really quickly, and it happened so quick, we really didn't have time to respond to anything.
Yeah,
I think I had just enough time to throw my arm up.
Tal, I want to bring you in because you were behind your father, who was piloting. Of course, we should mention he was an experienced pilot in the Vietnam War, and he did an unbelievable job landing that plane. But you all seemed so calm. No one was screaming or yelling. That's what I would expect as you were going down. How were you all able to remain so calm?
I think, honestly, that for myself at least, that I believed that my dad would pull us out of it the entire time. I never really thought we were going to hit the trees, even as we got closer to him. So it wasn't until about 2 seconds before we hit the trees that, I thought, well, we're going to hit the trees, and he's not going to be able to pull us out of it. And then from there to the ground was so fast that, you don't really have a chance to even think a thought, hardly, other than, I just hope everything goes okay. We survived this.
And yet, you were able to keep recording. There were a couple cameras recording in that plane. Did you even think about putting the camera down and bracing for landing?
I was not holding one of the cameras, but I believe that if you watch it closely, the cameras are somewhat dropped. I think they're kind of floating at some point, right, in that video footage.
And yet I know another passenger on the plane, Alex, was taping the aftermath, and that's another shocking thing to witness because we were there looking at your father as he was in pain. It seems a little hard to watch. Why did Alex pick up the camera and shoot the aftermath?
Yeah, it's tough on the video you have because, to be honest with you, we edited out probably about 5 minutes from when we landed until he found the cameras and picked them up and started walking around. So the first 5 minutes we're really just trying to make sure we're okay and getting my dad in a position where we could check his jaw and make sure, we could get him in a spot where we could try and slow the bleeding. At that point, I stayed with my dad. Alec was going back and forth to the plane to get supplies and whatever he could get out of it. That's when he found the cameras, remarkably still rolling, and he picked them up and brought one back to Nathan. And you know, he kept it going the entire time as he was walking around after the crash.
And Darren, I want to bring you in because you're the hero of the story. You and your buddies were camping nearby. Tell me what you saw and what you did.
We were actually out riding ATVs, and were stopped on the road to ask if we had a radio, and said no, we didn't have a radio. What would you need a radio for? And they said there's a plane crash, and I said, well, I'm camping with my closest friends that are all former firefighter EMTs from North Ada County Fire and Rescue in Boise. And so we asked where it was at and immediately went to the site. One of the firefighters went back to camp because he had a med bag in his truck.
Well, and that certainly
so
was
a
lucky thing for everyone who was on board that plane. We're happy to say you all survived. You look like you're doing well. Darren, Nate, Tal, Les, thank you all for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.